Praying to himself? Some of you say he is the Most High. Who is he praying to here? Himself? Himself? No. He said, now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had, which a Mashiach Yahushua had when? With thee, with the Most High, when? Before the world was. You hear that? Before the world was. That's why he's telling us what he's telling us. Hear the word of the Most High. Since we in John, go to John 13 and 34. He said, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. That's what it's about. Loving thy neighbor as thyself. That's just as important as loving the Most High with all thy heart, mind, and strength. To love each other, to love your neighbor as yourself is just important. All the law is based upon those two commandments. John 15 and 17. He said, these things I command you, that ye love one another. He wants us to love one another. It's so important. Because if not, then he speaks of how you are going to be looked at as someone that do not love their brother. You hate your brother. And a lot of you are caught up in that type of spirit because you work for the enemy and don't even realize it. Some of you don't even realize it. You still bringing forth the Willie Lynch letter, Stockholm Syndrome, the religious instructions to the Negroes in the United States of America. You fulfilling all three. And then some. That you done twisted and added amongst yourselves. Beyond that. With nobody instructing you but Satan. To be a hater of your brother. Hating your people. Listen. That's why we can't be together. That's why we're not together. Listen. Go to 1 John, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to look at verse 11. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Not as Cain, remember Cain killed Abel, who was of that wicked one, allowed Satan to get in his mind, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works, jealous, envy, and pride, his own works were evil. He gonna bring something he grew from the ground to the Most High, the sacrifice to the Most High, when he knew that the Most High wanted the fat of the animals. He knew that law of sacrifice. All he had to do was ask Abel. And not. Because his own works were evil, and his brother is righteous. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. So don't worry about if the world hates you. Don't you be concerned about it. That's why Mashiach Yahushua said in John 15 and 18, if the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. You hear that? The world haters, we know that the world hated the Mashiach Yahushua before it hated us. If you're of the world would love its own. Yeah, the world loves everybody that accepts all the wickedness that everyone is doing. It's okay. The world loves them. That's why they can be a part of the world. If you're of the world will love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. That's why they hate you. Because some of us are taken out of the world, and some of you are calling yourself a Hebrew Israelite, and you still all up in the world. You're doing the same thing that they're doing on the Sabbath day. You're doing the same things. What they doing? Only thing, you might not be up in the club. You're doing whatever you do, have done before. You got to change. This is the Most High's day. This ain't your day. He gave us 6 days to do what we want to do. You can't give one day to him. It's the Sabbath day. The world is out there partying, getting high and drunk and all doing all kind of wicked acts. You're not supposed to be doing that. What if he'd asked for 6 days and gave us 1 day? You'd be in bad shape then, huh? You just say, I'm just going to be wicked, I'm just going to hell. You don't even know what you're saying. I heard people say that. You don't even understand a clue of what that's like. And I can't take a cigarette lighter and say, burn your fingers, one at a time. Oh, you know what? You want to go to hell? Okay, you ain't afraid? Okay, let's burn each finger, one at a time. Only thing about in hell, they're going to go back. They're going to keep on burning them. The only thing about it, you got to put maggots on there that's hungry as ever, that's going to be eating. As your fingers burning, the maggots going to be eating you up. The worms, you got some worms. You already got worms. You know you have, Most High already put some worms in your body that eat you up. When you die, you ain't got to worry about that body. The worms that he has inside you going to eat you up. You got special worms inside these bodies that eat them up. Eat them totally up. Only thing about it, in hell, they're going to grow back. You got a body for you that's going to grow skin back on. To eat you up continually over and over and over again. When he said the worms never die, the fires never quench, what do you think that means? That it's going to burn forever. It's going to be burning and burning and burning and screaming and hollering in pain, as it says, in torment forever. That's why it's important. Fear the Most High. Be afraid of him and do what he say do. Listen, he says, verse 19, if you were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. See? Going back to 1 John 3. And 13. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death unto life. That death meaning a dead state of mind unto life. Following the Most High's commandments, being justified in our faith with Thaahwam, that we can see eternal life. Doing what he say do, being obedient. Because we love the brethren, hear that? You don't love your brother, you ain't passed from death to life, you still in death. You a dead Israelite, walking around like a zombie, laughing and acting like you all that. You ain't nothing but a dead Israelite. Walking in death. And not this life that Thaahwam wants us to have. He said you walking in life because you love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. You hear that? You don't love your brother, you abide in death. Something wrong with you. That's why it's gonna make it more clear. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. You hear that? You hate your brother, you a murderer. And you can't fellowship because you don't like your people. You don't like your people. You don't like your own people. That's why you can't come together. And if you come together, you got to come together in the right spirit. Or take your butt, stay your butt wherever it's at. You got to come in the right spirit. This is giving us instructions in how to look out for those that are of such character. Listen. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. It's like, you know, a murderer, you killing somebody, a murderer. That's how he look at you. And you know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him. So you're looking at him, if this is not what this is for, you're not for this, then I don't know what you dealing with. in your actions of the merit of trying to reach eternal life, because this is what it's all about. To reach eternal life. When you see life, that's eternal life. Death is being cast into the lake of fire. That's the first death. And you either going to be a part of that, or you can be a part of the everlasting life that's promised to the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what this message is all about. That's what the Bible's talking about. But if your name is not written in the book of life, forget it. You hate your brother, you are a murderer, and you know that no murderer has eternal life abiding in him. He'll probably see we the love of the Most High because the love of Fell0Wship, the love of Fell0Wship, because he laid down his life for us. And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. That's love. There's no greater love than him. You're going to know the love of the man that laid down his life for his brethren. Very important. You see, you've been duped. A lot of you been duped. You think you know, but you really don't know who it is that you really admire and exalting. You don't really know. You think you know, but you really don't know. Because look at how blatantly our people are fooled into thinking that they're following men that are so-called supposed to be righteous. Remember, by fair speeches and, many words, to see the minds of the simple